Alright, so today we're going to talk about expenses. If you think about expenses, now we're thinking about basic living. Okay, so your groceries. Okay, what else? What bills do you have as an expense? Okay, clothes. What? Okay, how you going to do laundry? Do you got to do it at home, and do you have that capability, or do you take it to laundromat? What else? Any bills that you can think of?
Your car bill.
Okay, your electric bill, your car bill, you got a car payment.
Transportation.
What?
I already said that.
Groceries.
College debt payments.
Okay, maybe if you have some kind of debt or a mortgage. Okay. Okay, so what are we gonna call that? So the other thing that you gotta start thinking about is, how are you gonna break these things down? Okay, are you going to be really anal about everything? Meaning you're gonna give it each its own specific category? Or are you gonna kind of lump it, some of those things into one lump sum? Okay, so Johnny said, I'm gonna have money to go out to eat. Is that does he have a specific one for going out to eat compared to going out with friends, compared to, or is entertainment one lump sum? That's totally up to you, right? Okay? What else? What? Gas is a big one. What else? Okay, so groceries, but yeah. Okay, so maybe medicine, right? Or medical prescriptions. Maybe if you have doctor's appointments regularly, that might be a whole nother section. So you call that something like medical. Alright? What else? Think of basic ones. Taxes though, okay, that's a good one. What else?
Sports equipment.
Well, yeah, but you might not have that if you're in the real world, right?
Indoor gym.
Okay, so, but that's still or transportation maybe.
Yeah.
So instead of a gas one, she's gonna be in a big city, so she's gonna use Uber.
Subscriptions.
Okay, maybe you have does that go under entertainment again? Or does that go under TV, right? Do I have, okay? And then we have another furniture thing. Now, once we get our furniture, we probably don't need another whole furniture section. But the initial furniture we buy is gonna probably set us back a while. So you gotta think about how all this is kind of tracked. Okay, again, the other big thing is how you, or when you get paid. It's a really big one, okay? So when you get your job, either now or in the future, do you get paid once a week? Do you get paid 2 times every 2 weeks? Here we get paid monthly. It's a big adjustment, okay? Especially if you're used to getting a paycheck every week and then you go to the monthly thing, it's kind of a weird, scary situation, right? So I gotta have enough money for that whole month compared to my weekly schedule. Okay, so that's where you wanna start tracking these kind of things, all right? And again, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's just how you decide to do this for yourself. And, you know, what little categories are you going to have? Are you gonna try to split it up into exact categories? Or are you gonna have like bigger ones, meaning lump everything under entertainment, for instance? Or lump everything under like home expenses. And then I would have my electric bill, my water bill, my sewer bill, my telephone, my TV, cable, all that kind of stuff. Okay? Or do I separate that all out? You know what I mean? Well, it's one of the things that a lot of people forget about as they're setting up this kind of tracking process.
Taxes.
Okay, an emergency fund, and what else?
Taxes.
Okay, maybe enough money to pay taxes. That's 2 good ones. What else? Okay, somebody already said paying off their college debts or just any other debt. That's a good one. The other one that a lot of people forget about is retirement. So even, and I'm gonna tell you this, it might not seem like it's a lot, but even when you first start out and you move into your first place and everything, put $5 a week aside. Right? Everybody can afford $5, right? So do that every single week, and it doesn't sound like that much, but all of a sudden after 1 month, we're up to $20 already, right? And at the end of the first year, we're up to what? You know? So what's 52 times 5? So we're up to $260, right? So $260 we made in 1 year just by putting that money away. Doesn't seem like that much at the beginning, but $260 is pretty good, right?
Compound interest on that?
Right. And so then you might want to put that into an account. And then all of a sudden you figure out, well, this is how much I have that I need, plus my little extra in case of an emergency fund. So now instead of $5, maybe I'm putting $10 a week in, and so on and so forth to make that happen. Okay? Now again, is that always possible? Maybe, maybe not. But you would rather at least put in $5 a week and have something at the end than not have anything at all. Okay? So in all honesty, that's one of those things that maybe you want to start trying even this month or this summer. Even though that you haven't gotten to that next step in your life, but if you did that all the way through college, you think about 4 or 5 years of college times $200. Now all of a sudden you're up to $1,000 and you just have that because it is $5 a week. Okay? So think about that, all right? So if you turn to page 337, this is how this person was tracking their expenses, okay? They did exactly every single thing that they did, you know what I mean? So again, are you gonna be that kind of person? Does it really matter to you that much? Or are you like my sister, and she just basically says, I just want to know that I have enough money to pay for things. She doesn't really care where it goes into or how it is. She just wants to know that she has that money on the other end, okay? So you can do all that stuff. That's totally up to you, all right? If you turn the page, now you look at her average monthly expenses. And this is kind of a grand total of what happened in January, February, March. So again, usually your housing's not going to fluctuate, right? If you have a mortgage or if you're paying rent, it's not going to change from 1 month to the other, all right? So notice across the top it's $550 all the time. Why would utilities change? What is it? What are utilities? Electricity, maybe water included in that. So there's another thing that you got to really make sure that you understand. Is your water tied into your electric bill or not? Okay? And so then, yeah, in February we ran the heat a lot more, right? So here's again, are you going to make those adjustments? Or are you going to set aside maybe more money than you actually need for those months? You think about around here, right? January, February, half of December, half of March are probably really, really cold, right? So we're going to use the heater a lot, especially some of you because you're always cold. Yeah, it's been cold all day, right? So he's going to use his heater. But then also you got to think about in Iowa, what else is bad? June, July, and August, we're probably going to run the air conditioner a lot. So those 6 months are probably the same, right? But then fall and spring, we probably can get away with things, right? Meaning the windows are open, we don't have to either have the air conditioner or the heater on. And so those other, 6 months, we might have a different budget. So do you want to actually change that budget? Do you want to make it totally different? That's what you got to ask yourself. Or do you want to just say, hey, I'm going to, so I look at, if this is mine for 3 months in a row, do I want to try to pin it down to an exact number? Or do I want to say, all right, I looked over a full year and my utilities went from $180 to $135. So the grand total, or the biggest total that I had for utilities was $180. Do I wanna then just say, I'm always going to allot $185 for utilities? And then those months that I only use $135, I got $50 left over, we can go out to eat big time then, right? We can go to a better restaurant or whatever. So that's what you gotta decide, right? Notice insurance, a couple different things that you gotta think about insurance. Why are our insurance numbers different?
You have to pay more the first couple months.
Okay, sometimes, yeah, if we have like deductibles and stuff, it could just be when it comes due to, alright? Or if you're gonna make monthly payments versus a yearly thing. So like right now, I got all my insurances basically tied up into the same company, and I get a discount for paying it in one time. But again, can I afford that, especially at the beginning, alright? Do I still calculate that as a monthly expense? You know what I'm saying? Do I still say, okay, I know what my grand total is, so my grand total is $2,000. Do I take $2,000 and divide by 12 and then show that every single month as a payment? I don't know. That's, again, up to you, okay? Transportation again, if you noticed here, obviously in February, they, I don't know, drove around a lot, or maybe they lived in Iowa and they always ran their car early in the morning to get it warm. You know? So maybe that was the difference, I don't know. Food, again, do I try to narrow it down to one specific number, or do I say, okay, my grand total or my biggest total was whatever, and I allot that, and then what happens if I go over that allotment? Then I have to go back and I have to change that allotment. So if I look at my past months and I say, okay, I'm gonna allow $250 for food, but then all of a sudden I find the next 3 months I'm going at $265, then I just have to make that adjustment, okay? So again, this is totally up to you how you're going to do this and how specific and how, again, anal you're gonna be about those kind of things. But that's basically what they're showing in these sections right here. Does that make sense, what we're saying there?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back and on page 337 and look at letter A. If Amy buys gasoline once a week and spends an average of $35, how much will she spend in a year on gasoline? So again, how many weeks are in a year? 52, so we're gonna just basically take what? 52 times 35, right? How much money did Amy spend in the first week of June? So now all you're gonna do is what? Add them all up on the green chart. Okay, in the green chart, so that's her first week of June. You're just adding them up. So again, do you care about the first week specifically, or are you just doing a monthly thing? Alright, that's what you need to figure out. Turn the page. So now we're looking at an average, and again, are you gonna try to figure out what your grand total is, or again, it's totally up to you how you're going to figure these things out. Letter C though, it says, what is Consuelo's average monthly expense for food? So what do we do to find the average monthly expense for food? Exactly right. So again, we're only doing the food numbers, right? 240, 225, 238. We're adding them up and dividing by 3. What is Consuelo's average monthly expense for healthcare? Basically the same thing, right? And again, now this is where after, maybe you have to do this for a whole year until you figure out what your payments are going to be, or what you're going to allot for each section.
Would you include the zeros too?
Say it one more time.
You wouldn't add the zero into that, right? You just do.
No, I would include the zero. So when I'm doing healthcare,
Two?
I'm going to divide by 3. Yep. So you're including that other month even though it's a 0. Yep.
What do? Do you do it all in one category? Or do you
I kind of break things down. Like I do my groceries, but that includes then anything like you said, like deodorant even, like my household I need, toilet paper, that kind of stuff is all grouped into one. Spending money, I just call it spending money. So whether I'm going out to a restaurant or am I going to a basketball game, that's all lumped into one. My insurance, like I said, I always put insurance money away every single month, even though I paid it in January. So then I'm basically accumulating that money, but then I have it set aside as insurance money. And so when that comes in January, then I pay it off.
You got the new truck?
Yeah, so, yeah, if you have a truck payment, you know, that would be a whole nother expense. Gas, what else do I have? My phone, laundry, cause I don't have laundry at my house. And then rent and cable, I pay it all in one thing, cause it's a part of the house that I live in. So I have about, I don't know, 8 or 9 different things. But then I have like subcategories too, so I always have something for my retirement fund, I always put something aside. I have something for like coaching stuff, so if I want new shirts or whatever for coaches stuff, I have a category for that myself.
What about our emergency fund, do you
I don't really, but I do, you know?
have?
So whatever I'm ahead, quote unquote, is kind of my emergency fund after every single month. You know, knock on wood, I don't really have to, you know, it's a little different if you're worried about kids and that kind of thing. I can basically see what's in front of me now, you know, whereas if you're worried about your house and, you know, that kind of stuff, that you have to take care of those things, then I would probably have a different situation, but I don't right now. Okay. If you go over to E, okay. Now you gotta just think about, okay, so is this a monthly expense or is this a premium? And remember, what's a premium? It's gonna be for the whole year, usually. Okay, so it says Vince's auto insurance premium is $850 a year. What amount should he save each month for his insurance? So basically, we're gonna take $850 and divide it. So again, this is kind of what I would do right here. So I know what my grand total is, and so I'm putting money ahead in that account. So I have that money total, or at least over it, just in case there is some kind of hidden fee or something like that, or it happened to go up, or, you know, if you did get in an accident, say, and then your insurance went up for that next time, that you just, I always wanted to be ahead. Instead of getting, where you get into those situations where you can't make that payment or whatever happens. But again, you know, I was lucky enough to pay off my schooling before I went into the real world. I was lucky to pay off my car before I, you know, so I didn't have those 2 payments, which is a big payment for a lot of people. That makes a big difference. You know, and then you gotta think about whether you're gonna have somebody else help you out. So are you gonna live with somebody? You know, that helps cut those costs basically in half. Or if you got 3 or 4 people in that house, that makes a difference. Whereas right now, I'm paying everything for everything because I'm living by myself. So that's a big thing too. Okay? But basically, that's section 1. Any questions with any of that?
No, sir.
Okay?